Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Mr. Vintage here, and another video in our Ford N-Series tractor repair, if you will. We've got the top cover from our hydraulic system, and we're going to show you how to rebuild that today. So with that, let's dig in. So, gotta disconnect this spring here. Get that guy kind of flipped over out of the way. Turn it over. We got to undo these 4 bolts to get our lift cylinder undone. Lots of paint. Alright, got those guys out. Take our remaining nuts off and set that guy back down. It's kind of a awkward thing. Long bolts go on the front side of your cylinder. Short bolts on the back. Then we can take that guy out. Got to clean all of this up here. Balance that precariously. Get that cleaned up, and I'll show you next how to get the piston out once I get her cleaned up. So for getting the piston out, which you can maybe see is down in the bottom of the bore. On the bottom you have your fluid inlet. Get it over a drain pan, rubber tip blowgun. Just like that, bang. Don't put a lot of air on it, it'll come shooting out of there like a bullet, but then you can inspect your bore and get everything cleaned up, and we're going to put an upgraded Jubilee piston in this. Okay, so we got our piston out, things cleaned up. Side by side here, this is the original style piston with the 3 rings that was used in the 9N, 2N, and 8N. We're going to replace this with the updated style that was used in the Jubilee. That being said, they are interchangeable, so you can reuse your same bore housing. The only thing different is a little bit on the style of the piston and the type of rings that are used. We got a leather backer ring here. Had that soaking in a little bit of hot water to give it some stretch. A little trick I learned from a forklift mechanic years ago when rebuilding hydraulic rams, because the seals are so stout. And if you don't soak those, you will never get them on. Even that's being a little bit of a bugger. Get those back on there, and that leather will kind of shrink down a little bit. It expanded a little bit more than I would have liked, but and that gets you your seals there. Take a little bit of oil and lube everything up. Got our piston bore here. Just gonna, everything's been lubed up. sure we work that guy in there. Watch that leather seal. Make sure it goes in there and doesn't get bound up funny. Might have to use a hammer to get that guy in there. Use the wooden end like that. Maybe tap on the top of your other hammer with a rubber mallet. Work that in. Keep working that seal around there and make sure it goes in, because you obviously don't want to cut the thing up too bad getting it in there, because you need it to be a backer. With that, our piston is in place, and we can get that sealed up and back on the cover. The next thing we're going to do, we've got some gasket sealant here. Paint that stuff on there. Use that to stick our gaskets in place. And we're going to do the same thing over on the lid. Now, next thing we're going to do is install our cylinder. Now reinstall the spring. We're all back together. Next we'll be putting it back into the tractor. Okay, so we got our top cover reinstalled and hook up our 3-point arms. Not going to bore you with that. The next thing we have to do is to hook up our arms here down to our valve down in the bottom. Once we got that done, put on our side covers, put some fluid in her, and this job is done. Okay, so we have our control piston hooked up to our control, and you're going to have to work in tandem between the drain plug and the 2 inspection covers. Now that that's hooked up, see that guy working down in there. Now we're going to install our 2 inspection covers. Probably a good idea is to install the side that has your PTO control first. That way you can actually make sure that it's seated from the other side and that everything is where it's supposed to be. We're going to get this hammered out, and that should nearly finish it. Alright, we got her all back together. Time to do, probably the most crucial final step is put our fluid in it. I'm using VP Racing J20A Plus utility tractor fluid. It confirms to the Ford spec. Let's see what it is here. M2C134/D, which I'm told is the spec you want to conform to from all the Ford forums. But with that, the system takes about 5 gallons. If you got a lot of sludge and garbage in the bottom of your setup because you didn't do all this, then you're gonna probably only take about 4 3/4 gallons because, well, that stuff takes up room. So with that, let's get her filled up. Your plug right next to the shifter is your fill. We'll get you a big funnel. Start dumping her in. Guys, that wraps up our hydraulic rebuild tutorial video. I hope it helped you out a little bit, and it was a learning curve for me too, so guess we got to learn on that one together. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below. It really helps us out. Other than that, look forward to seeing you again in the shop real soon.